One of these headsets felt like it was crushing my skull, while another actually surprised me with its amazing audio, and I bet it's not the one you'd guess. Hey guys, this is Risk. First time on video. If you're new here, then welcome. Otherwise, thanks for coming back to the channel. Today we're reviewing 6 consumer-friendly headsets to either upgrade your gaming or to get you started with it. There's no reason to blow the bank for a decent headset. All links to these headsets are in the description below. Now let's jump into the review. First off, we're starting with the cheapest of the bunch and the HyperX Cloud Stinger Core. Now I don't want to waste any time, so I like to start off with the price of the headset just so you know if it's in your budget or not. This headset is as budget-friendly as it gets, starting at just $25 on Amazon and $30 on HyperX's website. This is the definition of an entry-level headset. Next on, let's talk about the comfort. I can't feel anything but the cushions crushing my skull when I wear these things. They are super tight. Pretty sure these were made for babies. The cushion on the headband seems like pretty standard memory foam. Seems like it would be comfortable, but unfortunately, I just can't feel it. The headset just clamps too tightly. And this could be because I have a slightly larger than average head 5 minutes in and my head's already hurting. The ear cushions themselves seem a little stiff, and my ears ever so slightly just touch the mesh covering the drivers on the inside. As far as the functionality goes, this headset has 2 inline controls. You have your standard switch to mute and your scroll wheel for your volume. Looking next to the mic, it's pretty sensitive. I can hear the clicking on my keyboard and the clicking of my mouse. However, the volume input from the mic alone is super low. You're going to have to project to get anything across. And it sounds just a little bit on the muffled side. This could be because you're using the 3.5mm jacks. I do like that the mic isn't fixed in place. You can actually swivel it up when you're not using, so it's out of your way as well. As far as the sound goes, it's honestly pretty lackluster. Again, this could be due to the 3.5mm jack that you're using, and the volume doesn't get very loud. And there's no option or software to adjust the EQ or anything to fix this. As far as the design and durability goes, it's got a very basic design, kind of like what you'd see at a call center. The metal band running on the inside of the headset actually gives it some stability, but it's actually pretty flexible. I'm impressed by how much you're able to twist the headset, but I wouldn't pull the ear cushions too far apart. I'm worried the plastic might give away and break there. Final thoughts on this headset: it's super tiny, made for tiny people. If you have any extra cash to upgrade to a different headset, I honestly would do it. You probably won't regret it. Although there is another headset on this list that is much better in every aspect basically for the same price, and that is the SteelSeries Arctis One. They're currently having a great offering at the time that this video is being made. Originally sells for $50 on SteelSeries website, but right now they're selling it for $25 US, and that's versus $35 on Amazon, which is usually cheaper than the retailers. So if you can find it for this bargain, I'd pick it up. It's actually pretty comfortable for a $25 headset. It's got the slightest tightness on the compression from the ears, but I'm sure that will give way over time. The cushion on the headband seems pretty standard. Most of the weight is pinched right in the middle of the headband, so you kind of feel it on the top of your head a little bit. It doesn't spread the weight very well over the entire part of the headband. And although the ear cushions are pretty spacious in their diameter, they are a little bit shallow as my ears again are touching the mesh covering the speakers. The ear cushions have a light and flexible mesh and they feel pretty good. As far as functionality goes, this headset has your standard 2 controls on the left side of the headset. You have your switch to mute. There's no indicator to tell if you're muted or not, so you'll need to remember if up or down is mute. And then you have your standard scroll wheel for your volume. This headset comes with a detachable mic, which I like, although it is very sensitive. Again, I can hear the clicking of my keyboard and mouse easily. Volume again is a little bit on the lower side, so you'll need to project, but it does come through very clear. It's not muffled at all. The sound is serviceable for a 3.5mm jack. It doesn't get very loud, but it's better than what the HyperX offers. And the quality actually isn't that bad, however. Again, no option to adjust any EQ with this headset. As far as design and durability goes, pretty standard headset again, not much going on here. The metal band running inside the headset does give some stability, and the headband cushion is already creasing around the top point where it's putting the most weight on your head. I think this will wear down more quickly than anticipated. You might be lucky to get a year out of it. Overall though, it's a pretty great headset all around if you can find it for $25. Certainly beats the HyperX Cloud Stinger Core. If you're looking for an entry-level headset in this price range, absolutely pick this up. Next up, we're going to be talking about the last of the low-end budget headsets and the Kraken V3X. Kicking off with the price, the Kraken V3X starts at around $43 on Amazon versus $70 on the Razer's website. As far as comfort goes, this headset is super light. I feel just a tiny bit of weight on the top of my head. The clamping force on the side by the ear cushions is a little snug, kind of what you would expect. The cushions themselves, however, seem kind of thin and cheap. Don't expect this will last you for years down the road, but a good option if your budget is tight. The ear cushions are comfortable, however, and they're deep enough so that my ears don't actually touch the mesh covering the driver. Unfortunately, they are pretty narrow. Looking at the functionality, again, we have two controls on the left side of the headset. You have your mute button with a tactile feedback. There's a little physical click that you can feel. However, there's no audio cue, so you need to remember when it's pushed in, or if it's not pushed in, if that's mute or not. And then again, you have your standard scroll wheel for your volume. Luckily, there is an on-screen indicator of the volume when you are scrolling it, so that's nice. The mic on this one is very sensitive. I'm easily able to hear the keyboard, the mouse clicks, the scroll wheel, all of it. I could see this getting very annoying for your friends, and unfortunately the mic also sounds kind of grainy, not as clear as some other headsets on this list. And unfortunately the troubles don't stop there. The sound is pretty lackluster. Fortunately, I suppose the Razer software allows you to download surround sound 7.1, but that's about it. That's a big disappointment compared to some other headsets later on in this list. The volume gets somewhat loud, but it's not crazy. You might want something a little louder, and this headset does have some minimalist RGB lighting. Just the Razer logo itself actually lights up, but you are able to sync it up with other Chroma enabled devices. As far as design and durability goes, the design is actually pretty sleek. I like the design of this headset. I like the wire mesh that covers the ear cushions on the outside. Again, this headset also has a metal band running through the inside of the headset, and also again seems like a pretty cheap head cushion. I don't expect this to last for years to come. Wrapping this headset up, the sound unfortunately was abysmal, and again the mic was super sensitive. I hope you use push to talk. All in all, headset's okay. I would also look to maybe upgrade if you can. Perhaps even looking at the Arctis one still. Before we get to the headset with the best audio, if you're finding this information useful at all, it'd mean everything to me if you could just hit that like and subscribe button down below. Also, I'm curious, which headset are you currently using and would you recommend it? Next up, we start stepping our game up here with the Black Shark V2 by Razer. First things first, let's get the price out of the way. The Black Shark V2 starts at $80 on Amazon versus $100 on Razer's website. Now we're starting to get into our lower mid-range value headsets. As far as comfort goes, this is a very light headset. I don't feel much of any weight on top of my head at all, if any. This could be due to the fact, however, the compression from the side of the headset is just a little bit tight. But again, like I said earlier, I have a slightly larger than average head, so I'm expecting this will feel much more comfortable down the road. They have also been able to reduce the weight by minimizing the material that they need. You can see that they removed material between the ear cushions and the headband. The memory foam cushion on the top feels fantastic, no complaints there. And obviously you can adjust the headband by moving the cushions up and down like every other headset, basically. The ear cushions unfortunately are a little bit on the smaller side. I do feel my earlobes touching the mesh covering the drivers, but not that big of a deal, and luckily it doesn't pinch my ear at all, and the memory foam that it uses definitely keeps it breathable. As far as functionality goes, again, standard 2 controls on the left ear. You have your tactile feedback mute button. Just like the Kraken, you need to remember when it's pushed in that you're on mute, and there's no audible tone to let you know. The volume is a little different. Instead of a scroll wheel, it's a knob on the side of the headset, and about halfway through it you hit a little notch letting you know you're at 50%. This headset also comes with a detachable mic, which I love. The mic works great, but again, very sensitive. I'm easily able to hear the keyboard, the mouse clicks, and again, even the scroll wheel on my mouse. Luckily, playing around in the Razer software though, I was able to reduce it a bit by using the ambient noise reduction, but not nearly to the level I'd want it to be. Perhaps with more tweaking I could get it there to where I would hear almost no keyboard clicking or any of that. If you don't do this, I could see it getting pretty annoying for your friends. And lastly, the mic comes with a mini windscreen. The sound is where this headset shines far and beyond any other headset I've tried today. The different mixer and enhancement options just makes the audio pop. And the equalizer is equally great. I was blown away by how well this sounded, and it definitely gets top marks in that regards from me. As far as design and durability goes, I think it's a pretty unique looking headset. I like the way they use the metal wires to separate the ear cushions from the headset, and it seems pretty durable. You're able to twist and stretch the headset apart, but I'd be afraid to push it as I'm not exactly sure how strong those metal wires are, and I don't want them to snap. Final thoughts on the Black Shark V2. Sound is absolutely astonishing, just mind-blowing. I'm pretty impressed by how well Razer did with their audio here, and I would love to use these for any media, not just gaming. Next up on this list, we have the penultimate headset in the Logitech G733. This headset I've been using for about the past year. As far as price goes with this headset, you're looking at about $140 to start for the black pair on Amazon versus $150 on Logitech's website. Not the cheapest headset, but certainly not $300+ like a lot of wireless headsets are out there today. So I consider this to be a very well priced headset. As far as comfortability goes, these things are probably the most comfortable headset I've ever worn. For a wireless headset, they are super light, coming in at 278 grams. That's about 0.61 pounds for us Americans. And the way Logitech's able to do that is by using an all plastic design and cutting out material where it doesn't need to be, like on the top of the headband, for example. And sometimes I'll wear these for 15+ hours a day and have no issues needing to take them off at all. I like the headband aspect. It helps support what little weight there is, and it spreads it out evenly over the top of your head. Sometimes I forget I'm even wearing them. And as the headband does stretch out over time, which it does, you're able to tighten it down, and the ear cushions are big enough that they're not pinched, and I don't feel the mesh covering the drivers at all, so that is fantastic. As far as functionality goes, it has 3 controls on the left ear. You have your mute button that will give you 2 different audible sounds when you're muted or unmuted. You have your scroll wheel for your volume that displays on screen so you can see where your volume's at, and obviously you have your power button, which you can also single tap to get a indicator of what your battery's at, and you also get an audible warning when your battery is low, letting you know that you need to recharge. Unfortunately, this is an area that I have had some issues with 1 year later. The most common problem is that sometimes the scroll wheel for the volume doesn't work and you have to manually adjust it with your mouse. Simply unplugging and plugging the dongle back in works, but that's just a nuisance. Also, sometimes pressing the power button, the battery does not get relayed. It could be an issue with Logitech or their software, or it could just be my potato of a PC that's doing it. The G733 comes with a detachable mic, and this mic actually works flawlessly. There's no complaints from friends about any background noises. I don't hear anything besides me speaking. I can also run a fan right behind me, and the headset doesn't pick that up. This is the test of the microphone on the G733 just to show how well it is at noise suppression. There's a thunderstorm going on outside right now, and you can't hear any of it. And I'll click some keys and click the mouse button. Let's see if you can hear it. The sound is pretty great. It's not killer or amazing by any means, but it gets the job done. You can set up surround sound and adjust the volume from 7 different locations. You can set up preset EQ profiles like first person shooters or MOBAs, etc., or obviously create your own. It does have RGB lighting in the front of the headset, a top and bottom section that you can independently change. I, however, like to keep mine off to preserve battery. And speaking of battery life, I get about 2 full days out of the headset before I start to recharge it, and I use it for about 13 to 15 hours a day, and the battery's not dead by then. And it recharges with a 6-foot USB-C to USB-A cable. The design and durability of the headset is phenomenal. It is super durable. I can twist the headset all sorts of weird ways without any worry about it snapping or breaking. I can stretch and bend the headset, and it all goes right back to its normal shape. I have zero concerns about this headset breaking apart. Final thoughts on the Logitech G733. It's a solid headset that I would absolutely buy again, especially for the price. It's the most comfortable headset I've ever worn, but let's see how it compares to the only other wireless headset on this list. The last headset on this list is also the most expensive, and that is the SteelSeries Arctis 7 Plus. This headset starts getting towards the higher end of the mid-priced headsets, but still doesn't break the bank. Unfortunately, if you're looking for a deal, you may need to scour the web, as both Amazon and SteelSeries websites sell these for $170. As far as comfort goes, these things are absolutely comfortable. I don't feel any pressure against my skull at all. The compression from the ear cushions is fantastic, no issues there. The headband on the top is fantastic and evenly distributes the weight across the top of my head. The only downside, it's a little bit on the heavy side, and this is probably due to the fact that they used a heavy metal band for the entire top of the headset, which just kind of adds unneeded weight. They could have taken a page out of Logitech's playbook here. And although the ear cushions are spacious in diameter, they're just ever so slightly small in the sense that my earlobes do touch the mesh covering the drivers. But the ear cushions are light and flexible and they feel good. As far as functionality goes, this headset actually has 4 controls, 2 on each ear. The left ear has a mute button and a scroll wheel for the volume. The mute button does give a chime when you mute or unmute. Unfortunately, it's the same chime, so you're not sure which one it is. Luckily, however, when you are muted, it does give you a little red light on the end of the microphone to let you know. The right ear has the power button and a scroll wheel to adjust the volume difference between your chat and your gameplay audio. The scroll wheel also has a notch right in the middle of it to let you know when you're at 50% for each. And a neat little trick I found with the power button, it doubles as a pause and play button for when you're listening to music if you just tap it. The microphone on this headset is retractable, but it's very sensitive and you can hear all the mouse clicks, all the keyboard clicks. Volume into the microphone seemed a little bit soft, so you may need to project. I'm sure this could probably be adjusted in the software somewhere, but the audio is super clear. Using the noise reduction and the noise gate in the new software called Sonar by SteelSeries, I was able to cut off any background noise. I'm sure if you played around with it long enough, you'd be able to reduce the clicking of the keyboard or mouse, as I was able to get the scroll wheel sound to go away. The sound in these headsets is also fantastic, absolutely amazing. Just a hair shy of the Black Shark by Razer. In the Sonar software, you have all sorts of configurations that you would expect that you can set up, which all provides great customization. And what's unique in this software is that you have complete control over the EQ, and the quality of the sound out of the headset is fantastic, and you can make it super loud if you need to as well. Being a wireless headset, you're going to look at having to recharge this every 30 hours or so, and it does come with a 40-foot range. The headset has a 5-foot charging cable. As far as design and durability goes, this headset's built to be super durable. My only concern is I'm worried about the plastic housing around where the ear cushions connect to the headband. I'm worried that might be a weak point. The headset having a metal headband is obviously stiff to bend and pull apart, but I'd advise against doing this just for what I mentioned previously. The adjustable strap is also really nice. My only concern is I'm wondering how long it'll hold its shape before it stretches out too much. Final thoughts for this headset, I would say that the Arctis 7 Plus is great at many things but a master of none. The headset's very comfortable, but it could be lighter. Looking at the G733 here as an example, the sound was phenomenal, but the Black Shark V2 actually takes it slightly here, and the mic is just a little too sensitive. You might be able to work on it through the software, but the G733 was just completely silent except for when you're talking. That's not to say the Arctis 7 Plus didn't do a couple of things right. The software, Sonar, is superb and I absolutely love it, and the volume control that you have between your chat and your gameplay audio is fantastic. For $170, I think this headset's a very close second to the G733 just for my purposes alone, based on how long I use the headset. If you're just going to be doing some short gaming sessions, it's really a toss-up between this and the Black Shark based on the audio alone. Really comes down to, do you want a wireless headset or not at that point, I think. If you want to see which wireless mouse is best to pair up with these headsets, click on the little pop-up on the screen here. Thanks for sticking around to the end. If you found this review helpful, let me know by leaving a comment in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.